Hey folks, Pauleh here, and this is WWE2k15. So, I don't normally do review videos, but I'm in a sort of unique situation, I guess, and I figured that there are others in the same boat. So, I used to watch wrestling kind of religiously when I was younger, back in, I think, 1998, 99. And around that time, I purchased every single wrestling game that came out for the PlayStation and PlayStation 2, and I want to say PlayStation 3. So I've got a few years worth of experience in, the wrestling game genre. Now, I haven't watched wrestling since then, so it's been like a good 14, 15 years. And even though I don't watch it anymore, I've always enjoyed the games because the games have been an absolute blast. So when I heard that WWE 2k15 was coming to the PC, I immediately jumped on it and picked it up. So what I'm going to do is basically go through this game and compare it to my experience with the old wrestling games. Now I want to point out that any games from like 2003-4 onwards I haven't played. So if you used to play games around that time and never really looked at wrestling because maybe you just outgrew it or whatever, then hopefully this video will help you out. So this is on the PC. It runs very well. Graphically it looks very nice. Now, one problem I have with coming back to this after so long is I don't recognize anyone. Like, the guy there is John Cena. I don't know. I only know him because he's basically the face of the franchise at the moment. So just randomly traveling on Reddit or various websites, I'll see his name pop up, but beyond that I don't know anything about him. And the same can be said for like nearly every single person you see along here. So with that in mind, there are very few faces I recognise. Anyway, this game has a good set of options for graphics, all your basic stuff there. There's also a menu that pops up when you launch the game. I'm currently using a controller for this. The keyboard settings aren't too bad, you'll get used to it, but this game is definitely best played with a controller. So there isn't much else to show you here apart from, is it the match settings? Not match settings. Gameplay settings, you can turn a few things up. You can knock up difficulty from easy all the way up to legend. Right now I'll just keep it on normal. Seems to be a decent balance, although I'll probably knock it up again soon. There are reversals in this game. There is blood, although blood doesn't show up in the MyCAREER mode, but I'll go into that later. Rope break, weight detection, all these type of things you can toggle on and off. Anyway, I want to go ahead and show you a few of the features this game has. So you can play bog standard matches and you can do some more creative things. You've got your one-on-one matches which can go from normal to extreme rules. Now I am kind of confused in the sense that you've got extreme rules and no holds barred. Now, from what I've found out when doing a little bit of research before making this video, a few match types such as tables, ladders and chairs became an actual event. So I think basically what Extreme Rules is just a pay-per-view event, but it's like no disqualifications, so anything goes. Essentially no holds barred, although no holds barred can go into any arena, if that makes sense. Raw, SmackDown, that type of thing. Falls count anywhere, steel cage, table match, submission, Hell in a Cell, Iron Man, Last Man Standing, and then you've got your triple threats, 4-man, 6-man, Royal Rumble, tournaments, title matches. Now, compared to when I used to play this game, there is a lot of game modes missing, such as First Blood, Street Fights, boiler room brawls, all sorts of different game modes are not listed here. Apparently, WWE 2k14, the last game, had a lot of its game modes cut for this one. So that game had a lot more game modes to play. Now, if you've already played this game on the consoles, I think you're better off staying with the old game, although I haven't played it. From what I've seen everyone talk about, they do say it's got more stuff to do in it. But what's available here is fun. Since it's the only one on the PC, you know, I'm quite happy with it. But yeah. So there's a MyCAREER mode where you can basically create a wrestler and have him go through a sort of career. Now, this was probably my biggest disappointment. When I last played wrestling games, I think the most notable one was SmackDown vs. Raw. When you make a wrestler and take him through a career mode, it was a lot more enjoyable in the sense that more happened, there were more cutscenes, there was just more interaction that you could do. Whereas this basically comes up with a sort of social media menu saying, you know, this person has said whatever, or you get to choose who your next opponent's going to be, and then you basically just get like a list of options to pick from. That's it. If you're lucky, you might get a rivalry going to where as you're walking to a stage you might be attacked, or you might get attacked in the back room, but you can't do anything with that. You just briefly get punched, you're down, that's it, you start the match with a little bit less health. And I think the biggest bummer is that when you finally work up to the main title, which is the WWE Championship, as soon as you obtain that title, the game fast forwards 15 years and you're at your retirement match. So, and once you've done that, that's it, you can't use that character anymore in the career mode. It is kind of disappointing in that sense. There's a 2K showcase mode which basically lets you replay some of the old rivalries. As far as I can tell, there's only 3 of them, although I've only got 2 listed here. I think a third one is DLC. You've got Hustle, Loyalty and Disrespect, which is between CM Punk and John Cena, and as someone who hasn't watched either of these two, I really could care less. And then you've got Shawn Michaels and Triple H here, that rivalry, but again, I'm personally not too bothered. When I was watching it, you know, I was a big fan of Stone Cold, his rivalry with The Rock, The Undertaker, all those, all back then, so. Now, there is a universe mode, which is actually kind of cool. Basically, you control the WWE in this sense. You'll be able to set up events, you'll be able to sort out rosters, which superstars belong on what show, what rivalries can happen, and then you can basically play a match, and you don't even have to play it, you can just simulate it, or you can actually watch the match happen. So we can simulate all of these, and then you get rivalry matches where you will get like different bits of cutscenes going on. So just for a quick instance here, there's currently a rivalry between The Undertaker and Stone Cold, as you can see at the bottom, but in this match it's Undertaker versus Jey Uso. That probably means that Stone Cold's going to come out and attack The Undertaker in a cutscene, or he'll basically take out his opponent so he can fight. But yeah, the universe mode basic is probably the only way you can continue on with your career if you have a character made there and you want to see him continue throughout the WWE. So that mode is quite fun. There is a create a wrestler mode. It's not too bad. There aren't as many options as I remember, but it does look a hell of a lot better, in the sense that all the graphics are updated and so on. But let me quickly show you a few options. So you can edit the face. There's a few different face templates you can pick from. You can also morph each individual piece, make his cheeks bigger, his chin smaller, and so on. There are clothes, but the clothing options, they're good, but there's not that many. I do like the fact that you can change what they wear coming into the ring and then what they wear when they're actually fighting. But again, this is, you know, bog standard stuff for most of the wrestling games. You can add logos on there. You can actually create your own logo in, say, Photoshop and upload it to the game. But anyway, create wrestler's not too bad. It's nice that it's there. You can also create a moveset or entrance. There's community creations as well, where you can see what other people have made. For instance, someone's made the Joker here. I think the best thing about this is that you can have up to about 25 created wrestlers. So if you're someone like me who hasn't really followed WWE in a while, or WWF at the time, then people are going to make pretty well every single wrestler that has ever existed, and there's going to be good quality ones. So what you can do here is just download them and get them back into your game. Like there's Cactus Jack, although that doesn't look that great, but hey, you know, it's better than nothing. We've got Team Fortress 2 Spy there as well, very nice. Jason Voorhees, okay, so yeah. Sonic, oh god. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of ways to get, you know, people you actually know of into the game. There is online. I haven't messed with that yet. I'm not too fond of fighting games online just because you always get someone who will just cheese it completely, spamming the same move. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you a match. So as you can see here, there's a good number of wrestlers available. A lot of it is locked. If you buy it on the PC, you'll get something called the Accelerator, which will unlock every single unlockable in the game, but that doesn't come out till spring sometime. So as you can see, lots of wrestlers here, and I'll be honest, I don't know any of them. I can probably name about 5 wrestlers on here. Like Mark Henry, I remember him. You've got Kane, The Undertaker, who doesn't look like The Undertaker anymore. Okay, Goldust. Triple H, Ultimate Warrior, I mean, he's a classic. And Stone Cold. You do have bonus superstars which came with the DLC. Can I access this somehow? Oh, and Big Show, I remember Big Show. Yeah, you get Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Sting, and I believe there's some more people coming with the DLC. There's also Divas as well, but I have no clue who any of these are, to be honest. Anyway, let's go ahead and start a match. You can add a manager if you want. We're just going to go ahead and random this. There we go, Chris Jericho. We'll give him a manager as well. And the manager, there is actually a special tab for managers. These guys, although I have no clue who any of them are. Let's go with him. Okay, we can select the arena as well, although a lot of these are locked. We'll just go to WrestleMania. Let's start the match. Okay, here we go. We finally got some gameplay. So, this is the meat of the game, the actual wrestling. Now, visually, it looks great. Decent amount of detail. The crowd is no longer 2D cutouts, although it probably hasn't been like that for a few years now. I'm just so behind the times. One thing they mentioned with this game is that this particular version, they redid all of their animations, all the mocap stuff, so everything looks a lot more natural, a lot more fluid. I really do like the way items, objects, and, you know, characters interact with the environment in the sense of the ring. Like, if you get, like, suplexed, let's say, but your legs, like, overlap over the, you know, the ropes, they'll actually bounce off them, things like that. Just little details here and there. Something I'm not quite used to. This system is the chainer, I think it's a chainer move, where you can basically chain a bunch of moves together, you know, hold, submissions, that type of things, which is quite cool. Although I've never been too much into the technical aspect, I've always been more fun of like just beating the crap out of someone. Punching, kicking, that type of thing. And you can actually focus on body parts here. I'm going to focus on his face. There we go. In fact, let's go for his leg as well. There's his manager, by the way. As you can see out here, you've got the announcers table. I can actually set this up to put someone through it, although I think I'd get disqualified. But you start this animation, you can't be attacked during it. Doing moves outside the ring actually does more damage, I believe, so it's not a bad idea to bring him out and just drop him a few times, although be careful, you can be reversed. One of the only things I don't like about this game is when I first got into it, I had no clue what I was doing. And like, since I hadn't played in such a long time, so as soon as I start, you know, I jump into a match to get you know, used to it. There's no training or anything, although when you're in the match you do get pop-ups that tell you a little bit of what you're going to do, but really they're not that useful. Eventually though, I looked up a few YouTube videos, learned how to do everything. That was the manager. Can I actually do anything to him? Oh, I can. Sweet. That's gotta hurt. But yeah, I know what I'm doing there roughly, so it's definitely become a lot more fun since then. Overall, like, the actual wrestling, the actual fighting aspect of this game is pretty spot on. It looks good. It feels great when you're fighting. Controls are good, although PC controls, as I said, not the best in the world, but you'll get used to it. I do recommend a controller though. There is a stamina bar, momentum and all that type of stuff. Oh, get my ass kicked here. Yeah, I'm being a bit too slow on all these reversals, although I managed to hit that one. I haven't noticed too much in the way of FPS drops, although I've had it once or twice. I also haven't had that many bugs. There were quite a few bugs when the game first released on PC, but they were pretty well patched instantly. Since then, I haven't had any issues. The only issue I can think of is one time my character suddenly froze. In like a triple threat match, he froze and couldn't move, and then the other two people like pinned each other and I lost, so that was kind of annoying, but beyond that I haven't really had much in the way of issues. Alright, let's wrap this up. Good old Stone Cold Stunner. Okay, so that was a basic look at some of the wrestling, the fighting aspects. There are entrances, by the way, with music and cinematics also when you win, but I had to skip those because I don't want to get content ID'd on YouTube, since, you know, the music and stuff is definitely owned, copyrighted by someone. So yeah, this was just a very sort of quick look / review of WWE2k15. If you haven't played in a long time but always enjoyed wrestling games, and if you like me, you don't really play on the consoles anymore, then it's definitely worth picking up. If you already have this on the consoles, I probably wouldn't waste any money picking it up. Nothing's changed, it's the same thing except it's on PC. Unless you want to support PC gaming, then by all means buy it. But yeah, overall, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I've had a blast. I played it for 2 days straight so far, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. Again, this is just my opinion from someone who hasn't watched anything wrestling related for like 15 years now, or played any wrestling games for that long too, so it's been a nice blast from the past. Anyway, I hope you find this video useful. If you're interested in seeing more WWE 2k15 videos, then leave me a comment and I'll see what I can do. I can possibly get some kind of series going, maybe with a career mode, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching.